Dennis, BECE starts today. How have we prepared our candidates for the exam? And of course, ultimately, we expect them to be able to compete and even compete at the international level. Are we there?
I've heard engineering council, but before I come to that, I saw this very interesting article from Akosi Amenu.
Kosi's love letter to
to the vice president. And yesterday I saw the vice president. Honestly speaking, I was excited. She's looking really, 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 healthy and strong and vibrant.
Yeah.
Please, she should check on the Chief Justice for us.
Okay.
She should check on the Chief Justice for us.
Okay.
Which Chief Justice?
Our Chief Justice. We have only one Chief Justice in Ghana.
Paul Bafobone?
No, he's an acting Chief Justice. There's a Chief Justice.
No, there's
You've already written off. You've already written off.
No, there's a suspended Chief
Justice. On suspension.
And then there's an acting Chief Justice.
Yes.
You're now qualifying it.
Yes, there's a suspended Chief Justice.
Well, I know of only one sworn into office Chief Justice.
Suspended.
Suspended.
And I think that as a female advocate, the vice president should check on her.
Very well.
And I like Akosi Amenu, the way she put it, from scrutiny to siege. The woman needs all the support that she needs. The prejudices around, you see the way council came in, they're all prejudiced, they premeditated, it's too much. And she can count on the support.
Wish our students well.
Dennis, thank you. But
why?
Start on
the political note. Wish them well.
How is it political when you're asking another mother to check on a sister? How?
Thank you.
I'm asking a mother or let me say a sister to check on a sister.
Thank you. Let's check on
this
the
Just a reminder. Akosi Amenu is reminding her. That's all. But I mean, let's come back to the BECE. So, I was listening to engineer. And I listened to council. I am completely aligned. To be very honest, I have been an advocate against our educational system. Content, context, curriculum, structure. I think it's outmoded.
What would you rather see happen?
A lot of things. From infrastructure to even how we study to even the rules.
Yeah.
They are stifling.
Yeah.
The environment, everything happening around education is very poor.
Yeah.
To be very honest with you. And when you listen to engineers' point and listen to council's point, it is everything we have to change. Curriculum-wise, go and look at the Cambridge students. When they are writing the equivalent of BECE, which they call checkpoint, it's 3 subjects: English, maths, and science. Why are we still? I remember I wrote 9. Before 9, it was 12.
12, yes.
Yeah.
Subjects.
At the
12
basic
subjects.
Yeah.
And if you recall, we used to write 2 papers, 2 subjects a day.
A day.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you expect these young kids for us to go and say that I write mathematics in the morning, go and come and write science in the
afternoon? Yeah.
You understand? It's like, why are we even writing everything in 1 week? Why must we write everything in 1 week? Like, why?
And that's another important point. Why 1 week?
Why? Is there any rule that says that the children should write everything in 1 week? I think that in Ghana, we have a challenge. Maybe it's a cultural challenge with change. So there are so many things we've carried on from the past that we are living with, and nobody has even analyzed to even calibrate and find out whether it is still relevant and why we do it. Sometimes we don't even know why we do it.
Because there's no assessment after.
Yes, we don't even know why we do it. You understand? See, the Cambridge kids, they do all other things. But when they are going to do an assessment, they are going to do assessment on 3. And trust me, when you put the Cambridge curriculum students and you put the GES curriculum students, it's not about economic class, it's about content.
Yeah.
The level of appreciation and understanding of life is different. The Cambridge kids understand and appreciate issues way, 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 way better than the GES kids. And then, guess what? GES is even much more difficult than the Cambridge one. GES has all the rules. Don't bring phone. Don't use tablets. You can't type the answer. You can't type your assessment on laptop. You can't do this. Can you believe that even teachers in some schools, I don't know whether it's changed, but barely about a year ago, were fighting that they are allowed to do their lesson notes, type their lesson notes. You recall?
Yes.
Because that was a fight. That they said they should use pen
and write it in a notebook.
Yeah.
So it's all school. Don't use a phone. Don't bring this. Don't do this. I mean, those are all old school. Have you seen the teacher training colleges, how they are trained? Even them. when you go and see how they are trained, you'll be shocked. And that's why I think when the teachers also come out, they also want to use the same stringent rules on the kids. Because, I mean, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this? You wake up in the morning, 4, 5 a.m., and then you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that, you're supposed to do this. And it's like, and then when they see the chemistry students, they accuse them of having too much leeway. They call them that, but as for them, on one side, it's not true. They are the ones who are completing and programming and doing the coding and doing all these things. And then we, the GES ones, we use all our brains to be doing it.
No.
We are stressing the brain.
Yes. I'm telling you, and it's real.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
They are doing creative art at age 1. Yes. It's for carrying load.
Yeah.
You know, they are doing year 1, they are doing creative art in year 1. And do you know the kind of things they are doing? In the morning, when they are going to school, they are supposed to look for the assignment they did last night, which is to develop some 3D mask, to draw some tree, to identify some plants and stick them in a you know, something, identify their names, and they give them applications, apps. Use your app to identify the plant and describe it the way you understand it. They are doing global perspective. Year 1, global perspective. That's the name of the subject. Global perspective. You know what I'm saying? And so many other interesting, you know, programs and courses. Recently, I was looking at one of them so those who have written checkpoints have gotten to secondary school. And I was trying to compare the content of their secondary school courses and that of the GES, and I was laughing. You know why? Because when you pick the way they select their courses, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 6 or 7 blocks.
Okay.
Then they give you a mix of the courses to pick. So you can have chemistry and geography in one block. You must pick one from there. Then you can have arts, literature, and physics.
Okay.
Then you can have business, economics, and arts. You know, so it's mixed like that. So there is a student doing Cambridge Secondary School who is doing chemistry, art, math, business, geography, literature. So this student is doing biology.
Right.
She can be a business person after leaving school because she's doing economics, business.
Yeah.
And then she can be a science student
person.
because she's doing chemistry, physics, biology.
Right.
And that's how they are picking their courses in secondary school. But in GES, when I went to secondary school, and I'll tell you my story, they said I should go to Art 1. So they gave me CRS. Oh, a concept book. They gave me CRS, Christian Religious Studies.
Yes.
The one that our textbook is the Bible. Then they gave me literature and gave me French. Then I said, oh, I want to do government. I wanted to add government because I loved it. Like, I want to argue, I want to. But he said, no, you are not one. You can't do government. So I was stuck. So I had to go and see. I remember those. I had to go and see the government teacher, Mr. Deborah. May he so rest in peace. I said, say, I want to do government. Is there a way you can accommodate me so that when it's time for me to write the exam, I write? Because that time I thought that for me to be able to come and do political science, I need to study government. That was my understanding. Right. And I was worried about the fact that I was reading CRS.
So it has no relationship with political science.
But I was restricted. And then when you go to the science students also, once you're doing biology, chemistry, elective maths, and physics, you can't do any other thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get it. But the flexibility that these students in the Cambridge curriculum have, we don't have.
We don't have that.
From year 1 all the way to secondary school. And they're doing computer science. They're doing computer science. That's also an optional that they are supposed to pick. I think that's even a core subject.
It's a core subject when it goes, yes, computer science.
You get what I'm saying? So I think that it's time for us to break everything down. We should dismantle this whole curriculum and make it a bit more friendly. And also change our infrastructure. Why do we still build all our basic schools in that U or L shape? Why? Like, what? Is there a rule that says that it should be like that? And then when we finish, we paint the bottom brown and paint the top yellow. Like, is there something that, what the cost? The cost is almost the same. You understand?
Yeah.
I have a lot of confidence in Honorable Haruna Iddrisu. I mean, believe me, if there is anybody in government whose confidence level is high in both political parties, is Honorable Haruna Iddrisu.
Right.
I have a lot of confidence in him. I think the ministry already started a program to modernize our infrastructure.
Yes.
They've started. I'm sure he will continue.
Very well.
And then eventually it would. And then they should bring some flexibility.
Yeah.
They should allow students to at least every Friday, those who have tablets, those who have to bring their laptops and come and work. Why? What is wrong with that? This morning, the Cambridge kids who are going to compete with the GES, they have their laptops in their bags.
Yeah,
true.
It's in their bags. They are going with it, and they are doing amazing things. They are using DeepSeek. They are using ChatGPT. There's nothing wrong in using DeepSeek. I saw an artwork recently about some American math teachers, I think in the 70s or so, demonstrating. Why? Because that was the time they were asking junior high students to use calculator. And the math teachers at that time were protesting that no,
they shouldn't be allowed.
They shouldn't be allowed. They will be lazy.
Yeah.
Today, we've moved on from that, and the kids are using ChatGPT and DeepSeek.
Yeah.
What is wrong with the fact that you give me an assignment and I can go and read? Isn't ChatGPT and DeepSeek the same as the notes that I may have written? That I have to
the
read.
disadvantage the current system poses. There are some students in the public schools who are going to compete with these students, but have not even seen a computer.
But that's what all of us have gone through.
That's what we've gone through.
That's what all of us have gone through.
The ICT teacher will come and draw the thing.
Yes, but that's what we have all gone through.
So
I remember
the keyboard, the mouse, everything you have to
Mr.
identify on the board.
Mr. Kome.
Can you imagine?
School, Mr. Kome. Even the computer that we learnt in secondary school, MS-DOS, he beat all of us. Everybody was beat MS-DOS. That was the entire thing I learned. Yeah, that's a CD dot. You know, DR/. MS-DOS. He's beating you. He's doing this. We have to change.
Yeah, we need to.
You know, we have to change, break it down, introduce modern courses.
Yeah.
The kids should be reading about a certain Donald Trump, a certain China, what trade tariffs are, what's happening in the world. Those are the things we should be learning and writing exams on in BECE.